Okay, this will be a intro to how to deal with letters as graphic elements in a logo. So you want, so I got my initials D-O apostrophe C. I really like using and keeping the apostrophe sometimes when I can, although DOC, if that's an abbreviation of doc, I wouldn't want someone to think that I'm a doctor because I'm not. So that's something that I don't really use together, but I put those down there just so I see these are my letter choices. Okay, you will sometimes hear people refer to letter forms. Form is three-dimensional, shape is two-dimensional. So what I'm doing is a letter shape. Not sure why people do that, but it's inaccurate. Okay, so let's start with a D. A D, if I just go like it's not gonna, it's not really, it's not very neat, and you want this to be organized and neat. I can start with this. This is just like an HB pencil, but it's a little bit light, so I'm going to go with a softer black wing here. A D, I would encourage you, or I can just tell you, what you really need to do is start with geometry. So I can curve that there. I've got this sketchbook with gridded paper, which actually can help, so you can count the number of squares, although you don't necessarily have to have that. But so there's the beginning of a D. And starting it inside the square helps. It helps me to control the shape that I'm drawing. Now, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing for this. A logo design might just take, you could potentially just use the shape right there, which would be understood as a D in a context of a logo, most likely. Could even do like a serif D. So as I said in class, it's helpful to look at typography and think about the character you want your letters to have in a logo. Serif is, like if you have a capital I, it's got the little branch or a little foot. And then a sans serif, or without serif, the letter I would just be a bar, which will also look like a lowercase l. So the serif at times can be more clear. Sans serif tends to be more smoother, a little more modern looking. But there are some really beautiful typefaces in either one. So in typography, typeface is what, Helvetica or Comic Sans, those are typefaces. It's common to call them fonts. That's more for, I guess that's more like a printing term. But typeface. Okay, so there's the D there. I think in this case I'm just kind of leaving it. I just want to start here. So when you first start designing something, and when you're designing something, you're creating an image of something that doesn't exist, like a prototype. And so you gotta just have to start trying stuff. And you try stuff based on other examples, other ideas. Now, in this case, if you're designing something that's like you're designing your own logo, then you are the client. So you can, I guess you could schedule a meeting with yourself and discuss what your needs are for your logo. Like I want you to have like a professional, I guess a professional purpose for it. Are you going, is this for an architecture firm? Is this for graphic design? Is it for fine arts, interior design? There, I like that. That's nice, actually a nice big clear shape that reads as a D. I don't have to have, I don't have to have it sort of traced, or like I don't have to have that middle open. I understand that that's a D. That's one idea. That's just like one shape. This isn't even the logo yet. Now here, you might use lowercase. Again, I'm going to start with like a circle, maybe an oval. And if you're doing this, I would definitely look at examples. I'm looking at my computer. I've got a Google search page up I did the search parameters serif D. I wanted to see different examples of a serif D. And usually that does not go that way, that goes that. So so if you're using something like serif letters, you should look up typefaces that use the serif, so you see what it looks like. Because some this generally the D, lowercase d in serif, this just angles back this way. I initially was doing it out like that, but in looking at all these examples, I don't see that. So that seems to be the way a lowercase serif D is done, is that this is straight until the bottom when it does go out at the base. All right, that's good. And this brush, I really enjoy using these brush pens. And you can, with a little bit of control, you can do something that's almost calligraphic. Yeah, well. So drawings are a lot faster. Even if you were designing something like this and you're just going to, it needs to be done in a digital format like Photoshop or Illustrator, I would start with sketches like this freehand so you can get some idea of what you're going to be doing in the digital format. This will get you there a lot faster and gives you some ideas to work with so that you're not slowly trying to create everything in, well, yeah, so drawing is, I think drawing is just a much more direct way to do it. And you should get comfortable. Sometimes you don't have a laptop with you. Sometimes you're just talking to someone and you want to express an idea, and you just need to grab a pen and a scrap piece of paper, back of an envelope, and this sort of a classic, something drawn on a napkin in a restaurant. That still happens. In fact, people go and meet over lunch or dinner and they get talking, and then the only thing they've got is a pen they borrowed from the server and a napkin. Okay, this, I don't love this. Normally like this is more of an oval, so I think I might just do like, gotta fix that. And then here, let's see, what do I want? I'm going to Interesting idea. Okay. Now, so here's if you have a word or anything written and it's going to sit vertically in a design, what I've seen and heard is there's a preference to turn it and like have it written or have it arranged so that it reads the way we read left, like if you turn this, it's left to right, so it's just going upward, rather than having the letters stacked like that, because we tend to read, this is like, it's kind of like it breaks it up. So you read it almost like you read it as individual letters. Here you read it as the name. So let's just say no, no, no. That's actually not a bad idea. So I'm not sure what I use that for. You might even try underline. Yeah, so then that too. Bow, bow. Okay, so that's a little bit about how to begin drawing letters. Geometry. A lot of letters can begin with a circle or a rectangle or a triangle. I see, like a triangle. There's an A, there's an O, duh. And here, this could even, like this square could become all kinds of letters. M, Oma, grandma in German. So there is your carefully drawing curved letters is more challenging. The straight letters are actually a lot simpler because you just like, it's just like, you're just like drawing these sort of straight, like a stroke with the marker like that. So there, I just started to design for, maybe this is like a German daycare called Oma, which means grandmother. Okay, that is a good start.